Warning, the following content may contain elements that are not suitable for some audiences. Your discretion is advised. Think Different TV, live every Monday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hosted by me, your girl Lashia. Join me as I discuss social topics, spotlight independent artists, and share financial tips. Join the conversation. I want to hear what you have to say. Think Different TV, where minds meet. You're the reason I wake up, the reason I smile.
But the secret is you got to coordinate. Most people don't coordinate, so you got to coordinate.
Uh-oh, which one of these competitors will be victorious on this episode of Think Different TV's Player Pass? Find out by tuning in Tuesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Think Different TV YouTube channel. Say hello to America's new favorite game show, Think Different TV's Play or Pass. Get ready to experience trivia like never before. It's not just about what you know, it's about how you play the game. Join our charismatic host Bubbles every Tuesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the most exhilarating trivia battles on television. As we wrap up our incredible first season, we're gearing up for an even more exciting season 2 in 2025. We're looking for sharp minds and strategic thinkers to join us for one-on-one duels, thrilling team battles, and high-energy tournaments for high school and college students. Think you've got what it takes to outsmart the competition? Prove it! Become a contestant by calling 267-225-1824 or emailing lashiastar2@gmail.com.
Go drink water and mind my business. Drink water and mind my business. I go drink water and mind my business. Drink water and mind my business.
Hey, you're watching my mommy on Think Different TV.
What is up, y'all? What is up? I know this is an odd time, and y'all are not used to seeing me this time of night on a Sunday. All right, but your girl wanted to hop on here really quickly, and I'm not in my usual habitat, so please excuse the background. I am doing a review tonight. And oh, hold on. Let me just double check my sound. Okay, it should be better now. Yeah, so usually I am at home, but I am not. And I been wanting to do this review, and I said if I don't do it now, I am never going to do it. And I have my I have a makeshift not ring light, but a makeshift stand for my my phone because I do not have one. So I hope y'all can hear me loud and clear, and I hope that y'all get something out of this. There are spoilers. Today I am going to be reviewing um Tyler Perry's Beauty in Black. Okay. Now, let me just tell y'all this series is a roller coaster ride, okay? And not for the reasons that y'all might think. My mom said don't do too much on my show because I love Beauty in Black. So my mom is a fan of Beauty in Black. And honestly, I can't wait, just like she can't wait for the next season to start. Now, just in case y'all are new to this, y'all don't know what the heck. First of all, let me introduce myself. If this is your first time tuning in to Think Different TV, welcome, welcome, welcome. I appreciate you. I have a number of shows on my network. Think Different TV is not just a TV show, it's a brand, and we have several shows in the lineup. All right. First off, I want to shout out Euphoria Water. Euphoria Water is the cleanest, healthiest water in Philly. Alkaline water with minerals, no chemicals, no additives. It is good and good for you. If you're going to hydrate the right way. Get your Euphoria Water today. You can find Euphoria Water on IG under Euphoria Water. That's UPHORIAWATER. And if you live in the Philadelphia area and want Euphoria Water delivered to your home, contact Captain at 267-707-8279. So shout out to my sponsor. Like I said, this is a network. So we have several shows. Like we have, in my opinion, with Think Different TV's LaShia every Sunday, 5:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Live 97.5 FM. It's Yours Radio show hosted by my bros Donnie O and Beck. All right. Now, Live 97.5 FM is in Salisbury, Maryland. But if you don't live in Salisbury, Maryland, and you want to listen in, you can always go to www.live975.com. Today, it was a double play, actually. We talked about Shannon Sharp, and then we went into talking about Kanye West. So, yeah, it was a very busy day today. So yeah, that's every Sunday, 5:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then on Monday nights, we have Think Different TV, which is every Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, and 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, right here on the Think Different TV network, and on Instagram and on Facebook. All right. And you can always catch the replay. This week we're going to be wrapping up our April Fool's series. So very excited about that. And then we're going into May, and May is going to be Mother Mayhem. Okay. So I want y'all to please tune in. And if you can't tune in live, make sure you watch the replay and comment on the replay, #replay, so I can know that you tuned into the replay. Okay. Now, every Tuesday night, we have Think Different TV's Play or Pass. Play or Pass is at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It is right here on the Think Different TV network, as well as Instagram and Facebook. This week, we have a rematch between Slim Jim and Molly. Last week, we had the episode air where they first faced off, and now tomorrow is the first new episode of the second season. All right. First new episode of the second season of Think Different TV's Play or Pass. And it just so happens to be the rematch between Slim Jim and Molly. So make sure y'all tune in. Who was the winner? Y'all have to tune in 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Tuesday. All right. Now, Wednesday, we have Kink Different TV. Kink Different TV is not available on Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube. It is only available on Patreon. All right. I cannot stress that enough. People be like, I'm looking for your show. I can't find it. It's on Patreon. All right. So make sure y'all, it's patreon.com/TDTV KDTV. All right. That's how you can tune into Kink Different TV. All right. Very grown, very sexy. It's at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Wednesdays on Hump Day. All right. So make sure y'all tune in. All right. Let me turn on my banner. So, like I said, once again, we are going to be doing a TDTV exclusive of Beauty in Black. If my mom feels up to it, she can join in on a conversation for a little bit. But she said, like I said, she said, not too much on my show because we do watch a lot of the Tyler Perry shows. I remember I first started watching. It was a thing of we was watching If Loving You Is Wrong. We were also watching The Have and the Have Nots. That's what really kicked it off. And honestly, those two shows were so well written, but they always fall into this trap. Okay, so Have and the Have Nots, they kind of left on a high, right? If Loving You Is Wrong, for some reason, it took a wrong turn somewhere in the writing. I don't know what was going on, but it was just like a lot of stuff happening all at once that just was not making any sense. So I was like, oh my gosh, like what are y'all doing? Y'all trying to rush all this stuff in here, and it's just a hodgepodge of different things. But Tyler Perry, you know, he has a deal with Netflix, or he's owner of BT, something like that. So he also has a deal with Netflix, and he's been pushing out shows. And this particular show that I'm reviewing tonight is a soap opera. That's what the category is, soap opera. And it's a black soap opera. And you know what I realized? I was like, Dad, Tyler Perry, first you come up with Divorce in the Black, and now you're coming up with a show called Beauty in Black. So what exactly is Beauty in Black, right? So right here, you have that is gritty, suspenseful, and emotional. And it has a 5.7 out of 10 on IMDb and a 59% on Rotten Tomatoes. And I'm gonna tell y'all, I understand completely why that is. All right. The overview of it, excuse me, the overview of it is: a stripper's fate takes a turn when she crosses paths with the wealthy, dysfunctional family behind a cosmetics dynasty and a devious trafficking scheme. All right. Now, it started to air October 24th, 2024. So 10/24/24. And they wrapped up the season on March 6th. Now, it's kind of up in the air if they're going to be releasing another season. I feel that they should, because it's a lot. I think now that it kind of got its legs, it got its work in on the first season. The second season might be better, because I'm gonna be honest, like it's some shows that are just like that, like A Different World. You know, the first season was okay, but it really didn't get going until like the second season on up. So yeah, so the first season for me is a little rocky, and I'm going to give you the reasons why. But overall, I think Tyler has something with this show. Just I want to just say Tyler Perry has to either get better writers or improve the writing that is happening and allow a little bit of input. I would allow the cast to put a little bit more input into the dialogue that they're saying, because some of the performances came off a little dry, and I'm going to talk about that a little later in the show. All right, here we go. So we have the cast, beautiful cast. All these are beautiful people. I'm not even gonna lie. Like there wasn't one. Well, I'm gonna shut up, but I'm gonna shut up. But I mean, this was a very beautiful cast. You had Crystal Stewart. You have Tamara Kissin. You have Xavier Smalls, Taylor Polidor, Rico Ross, Julian Horton. Now they have Crystal Stewart first. And I don't know if this is in order of appearance, because then that really wouldn't make any sense, because the very first person you see on the screen is Taylor. But we'll see, Terrell Carter, Charles Malik Whitfield. You have Shannon Wallace. You have Debbie Morgan, Richard Lawson, Stephen Norfleet, T.S. Madison, You have Ashley Rain, Brian Tanaka, who the name sounds so familiar, like he's been on other stuff, but and you got George Middlebrook, Ashley Varshner. Uh, these are kind of like the extra people that's in there. Ursula O. Robinson should be a little higher up though. Um, and then you got Bailey Tippin who plays Sylvie, and I don't know why she wasn't included in the original cast listing, but I went and found her because I'm like, she's a big part of the end of the end of the season. So we definitely gotta include Bailey Tippin in this. All right. So starting with the cast. All right. Now, the cast, beautiful cast. Like I said, you have Crystal Stewart. Crystal Stewart plays Mallory. All right. Now, she plays Mallory, and you might also see that she's a familiar face. She is no stranger to the Tyler Perry, world. She's been in Acrimony, and she's been in For Better or Worse. Now, I don't know what was up with like her appearance. She was giving me very much, and listen, I'm not making fun. I'm kind of making fun of the person, but I don't mean this to be like mean, but it's just like what I seen. Okay, so when I saw Crystal Stewart in this, she was very much giving me like an ant. You remember the movie Ants? Like the animated movie Ants? That's what she was giving me. And and I was like, why is she giving me like a cartoon character? I don't know if it was the contour of her face or like what the makeup that they put on. I don't know what it was. But she was giving me ants. All right. Now, then you have Taylor Polidor, who's been in Snowfall, been an in and out character on Snowfall. And she was also in Divorce in the Black. I honestly have not seen Divorce in the Black. When it came out, my mom said, "Oh, did you see it?" And I said no, because at the time I didn't have Netflix. Might go back and revisit it, might go and watch it. I don't know. But it just didn't strike me as something I wanted to see. But she was on Divorce in the Black. Then you have let me see if I can go to somebody else. Okay, you got Charles Malik Whitfield, who plays Jules. You might remember Charles Malik Whitfield from The Temptations as Otis. Ain't nobody coming to see you, Otis, right? He was also on Tyler Perry's, I'm sorry, Tyler, my bad. Tyler Perry's If Loving You Is Wrong as Lucian. And he played a good guy on If Loving You Is Wrong. So imagine my surprise when I turn on this show and he is playing a bad guy named Jules. Okay. So I was like, wow, wow, wow. Um, Rico Ross plays the patriarch of this family, the um Bell Bell oh my gosh, why am I blanking right now? It's because I'm tired. Hold up. What is their last name? The Bellary, of the Bellary family. He plays the patriarch. He plays Horace. That is an old name, okay? Horace Bellary, Horace, like Horace and Jasper from off of 101 Dalmatians. Oh, that I could add that one. Horace and Jasper, and y'all will know when I'm adding that. Y'all know why I'm adding that a little bit later. Horace and Jasper, like his name is Horace. And his brother's named Norman. What? So yeah, I was like, these names is a little just like Taylor plays Kimmy. She plays Kimmy. So Taylor plays Kimmy. She's the main character. Okay. She's the main character. However, I don't feel like she really gave main character energy, at least not yet. I gotta see how she is in the second season. But in this season, she was not giving me main character energy. Maybe it's because this is her first time being in a role where she was like the main. And so she has to really, she needs better dialogue. And that's the writers. And she also needs to look a little bit more comfortable in her main character role. Okay. Um, Debbie Morgan plays Olivia Bellery, who is the ex-wife of Horace. All right. You may remember Debbie Morgan, the beautiful Debbie Morgan from Love and Basketball, All My Children, and Eve's Bayou. I think this is the first time I've seen her in a. First of all, her character is diabolical. Okay. And second of all, I think this is the first time I've seen her in a main, like taking on a main role because she's the matriarch of this family. So this is the first time I've seen her like be like she's not the main character, but she plays a very, very important part. Because the other things, well, I don't know about All My Children too much because I just looked up in the credits that that's what she played in. But on Love and Basketball and Eve's Bayou, like they could have definitely just had somebody else her play her part in a movie and it wouldn't have changed anything, because she wasn't like a main focus. But in this, she is the main focus. Okay. So Olivia, she got some stuff with her. And I really love the direction that they're going with her on this show. Okay. Now, uh those are the parents. And I think I'll just go down the which call, okay? So I already talked about Mallory, I already talked about Jules, I already talked about Kimmy. Those are kind of like the outliers, all right? Now, um, and we'll get to another outlier, but I already started the family tree. So I told you Horace has a brother named Norman. He's played by Richard Lawson. Now, Richard Lawson, name sounds familiar, right? He is so much more than Bianca Lawson's father. He is so much more than Tina Knowles' ex-husband. He is definitely an actor, and he mostly works behind the scenes, but when he's acting, he really brings something to his role. And in this character, he's like a very loving guy, but he's not to be messed with. Olivia is only loving towards herself and her son Charles, who I will be getting to very soon, and she's not to be messed with. All right. Now, we talked about the two brothers. Oh, and Richard Lawson's character has a wife. And the wife, I told y'all there's spoilers in this. So if you want to go see Beauty and the Black, I suggest that you stop watching this right now, go watch it, then come back, because I don't want you to be like, oh, she told the whole story, blah, blah, blah. No. In the title, it says it's spoilers. And there's a reason for that, because I want to talk about this in detail. And I can't talk about it in detail without saying that there's spoilers in it, because then you're going to be like, Dad, she told about the whole thing and I didn't even see it yet. Go watch Beauty and Black, then come on back. But if you have watched, I'm going to continue. So Richard Lawson has a wife in this series. You do not know what the wife looked like. The person who played his wife had probably like made the easiest check. Easiest check. Matter of fact, it probably wasn't even one solid person playing the role. They probably just had a bunch of stunt people because that stunt person went through a lot. Okay. And then next thing you know, the wife is being uh in the hospital and all bandaged up, and then you like for a while you didn't even know who this person was, and then you find out who it is, and then you're like, oh crap. Because I was like, who is it? Who's this person that's running on on a private um back room that's only for the family, and then everybody else is accounted for, but then Norman shows up. So then it all makes sense. Okay. They pull everything together. Um Now let's get into the children. The chilling. All right. You have Roy. Roy is played by Julian Horton, who is a former wide receiver for the Tennessee Titans. Again, here's another thing about dialogue. They have to give him a little bit more dialogue, but I kind of explained it away because his character is battling demons, and he partakes in a lot of extracurriculars, if you get what I'm saying. He likes to party. So he I can understand why his mind is a little scrambled and why he might repeat himself sometimes and why his dialogue is not where it should be. And it's because this dude likes to party all the time, party all the time, party all the time. So yeah, so uh I can understand that. But Roy is an evil guy, as far as like just like he's just mean. But somewhere along the line in the first season, I start to feel bad for him because there's a reason why he is the way he is. All right. Then you got Charles, baby boy. I think he's baby boy, played by Stephen Norfleet, the most unserious person on this whole show. Okay. He got to be the most unserious person. Because he just don't care. He just don't care about life. Like he's partying too, and he partakes in a lot of other extracurricular activities. Stephen is part of the LGBTQ community, and how he's introduced is we get a nice little view of his buttocks, okay, through the window. So yeah, that's how we was introduced to his character, and it was through Debbie Morgan's character trying to find out where her son is, and I didn't even know it was another son until this all happened. Okay, now you have the other outliers. You have Terrell Carter playing Varney, who is an attorney for the family. All right. Also, he's kind of a snitch. We're gonna get to that very soon. But you might remember him. Well, I remember him. My first time seeing Terrell Carter was in Medea's Class Reunion, the play. And he is an awesome singer. He's amazing. And he played the husband whose wife cheated on him. All right. Now, it's also a funny part of the play where he's like singing and he's like in front of the girl and everything like that, and it's like he's really put on a show. And it's like, dude, like interact with her, like you just singing all in front of the audience. But he is an amazing singer, and he was also on Medea's Diary of a Mad Black Woman. He played the pastor, and there was that one scene where that had the girls start off singing the song, and it's called "Father, Can You Hear Me?" And then that scene always makes me cry. I don't know what it is about that scene, but that scene always makes me cry, especially when the mom comes in, uh, which calls the one that was supposed to be the one on, that was partying a lot and left Tyler Perry's character with the kids. Yeah, when she comes in and she starts singing, like I just break down. I don't know. That singing just very powerful in itself. But yeah, Terrell Carter. And he also was on Empire. I remember him being on Empire for a little bit, and he was like doing stuff with Jamal. Yeah, Jamal's character. Now, uh, so I think I went through everybody. Oh, not everybody. So you had Rain. Rain is Kimmy's friend. All right. Rain is like the dumb blind character in the show. She is so ditzy, yet she's also supposed to be Kimmy's word of reason at the same time. It's like the beginning, she kept saying over and over again, well, Kimmy, you know how you get when you get out of control and you're not. And I was like, foreshadowing don't have to be in the dialogue, okay? Like, we can find out how out of control she can get just by her acting it out. But I think it was a little bit of a push because, again, Kimmy, the person who plays Kimmy, has not fully thrusted herself into that main character energy role. So yeah, so Rain did some dumb stuff. She got involved with this girl named Body. Now Body works at the strip club with because Kimmy, Rain, and Body all work at the strip club. And oh dang, they mentioned the name of the strip club in there, but I can't remember it offhand right now. But anyway, that's beside the point. It's a strip club is a strip club is a strip club. It could be Magic City for all I care. I don't even care. But um, it starts off. Okay, let me go to the beginning. Ooh. So Kimmy is with Jules. She's walking into a place and she meets Roy, but she doesn't know who Roy is just yet. Now I said again, this is spoilers. So if you don't want to hear what happens in the show and you want to watch the show, just get off. It's like stop this and go and watch the show if you're going to go watch the show. But if you ain't gonna watch it and you want to hear how it goes, want to here it go. All right. So Roy, who Kimmy don't even know who he is just yet, he's just very like, oh, you didn't wear what I wanted you to wear, and you a dumb bee, and all this different stuff, and calling her out her name. And I'm sorry, I was getting highly offended, and I was not even Kimmy. I was like, it's only so many times you gonna call me all these different names, okay? Because ain't no way I'm up here about to service you or do whatever, and you talking to me all crazy. Like, I don't care how much money you got. Like, but I could get her fear of talking back because apparently Jules is supposed to be this guy that can make people disappear. So she trying to keep her nose clean with him. So she go in there and he just like, get out, get out. He was not impressed with her. So he told her to leave. So then she left. And then this is when she goes and meets up with Rain. And at the same time, the girl Mallory is having like a press thing for Beauty in Black. They're giving away $1 million to someone to start up a business. And they're also giving out these scholarships to the Beauty in Black school. Okay. So Mallory, she's just all smiles and everything like that, but behind that smile, she don't want to really be there. Okay, she don't want to do all this. She don't want to be there with all them regular folk because she feel like she's above everybody. All right, she bougie. Okay, but she also can get down with the get down. She bougie, but she also will run somebody over and keep it moving. And that has happened in the show. All right. Now, Mallory, she's up here, she's doing this thing, and Kimmy's in the audience and she's watching this, and she can't be there too long because she got to get to the strip club to do her thing. So she's watching it, and then she leaves. In the meantime, in between time, Mallory is, giving her spiel on how she came into the cosmetic world and how the father of her husband saw her and said, "She's it. She's who I want to be the model for whatever." And she was very young at the time. She was a little girl. And she said she was in an adopted family. And I think maybe in season 2, they're going to revisit that storyline, right? Because she talked about how she was in foster care and how the lady who took her to the audition actually wanted another little girl to get it because that was her favorite. But the father of her husband saw her and said, "You're it. I want her to be it." And then she said he kind of raised her as her own. So you do see that the father, Horace, again, this old behind name, has this love for Mallory as if she's his own daughter. Okay. Now, after Kimmy leaves, she meets up with Rain. Before she even goes into the thing, Rain was like, "You got to do what you got to do. We only hoes. We ain't gonna be no more than that. You gonna you got to pick your poison, honey." And she was like, "Listen, this is all we're ever gonna be. You just got to be used to the fact." And then Kimmy was like, "What?" And she was like, "Well, I know I am." And she's like, "I'm about to go to the strip club. You got to be there by a certain time. Don't be too late because you know how Jules can get." And also, Rain was like, um, you know, "I'm going to get," she was like, "I'm making a little money now, but once I get my butt done, my boobs done, I'll be fine." And Kimmy like, "Well, who's doing this?" And she was like, "Well, the same person that did Body's body is going to do it." She's like, "Listen, I don't think that's very smart." She was like, "It's okay. I'm gonna be okay. I'm gonna be good." And she's like, "Well, I gotta get to the strip club." So Kimmy goes and sits on the thing. Then she leaves. She goes back to the strip club. This is where we meet Body and Delinda for the first time. They are standing there. Body is well, there's two meanings that you can get out of that. Body is not only like the she's her body is a nice body for a strip club, but she's also supposed to body people. She's supposed to be the muscle. She's supposed to be the one roughing the girls up and keeping them in line. Delinda is uh Delinda is like the madame. She's like the madame. She's like she's there to keep all the girls in line, including Body. But Delinda also knows her place. See, they are both supposed to be Jules' bottom bees. Okay, so I hope y'all follow me. All right, now what I got from Body and Delinda on this show is always these two characters that are like, if you remember Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Bebop and Rocksteady. All right, for those who remember. If you remember Power Rangers, Bulk and Skull. All right. And remember when I said I had to remember Horace and Jasper from off of 101 Dalmatians? Like Body and Delinda are like that. Okay, Body and Delinda are the female versions of all of these people. But Body and Delinda are like those two ladies that was on Bebe's Kids. Remember, which calls ex-wife or whatever, ex-girlfriend and her friend, like that. Okay. Um, they're very much serious roles, but also comic relief. Okay, that's what Body and Delinda are. All right. Now, Body and Delinda, soon as Kimmy come in, they're like, "Oh, she always have an attitude and blah 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 blah, and we gotta break her and blah blah blah." And I'm like, "Dad, already?" And they was calling her all types of names, and you owe Jules, this much money and you need to get it together and blah 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 blah. All right. So all right, let me see if I can, because I took some notes. All right. The plot is solid. Okay. Everything that happens is solid in the plot. The dialogue can be much better. I just feel like the dialogue could be so much better. Oh my gosh. Because between the what are you saying when someone just said exactly what they meant and the repeated lines, it leaves a bad taste in my mouth. That's why I can understand why I got a 5.7 out of 10 on IMDb and a 59% rating on Rotten Tomatoes. It's because the dialogue is lacking. But let's get into the story. All right. So they talk about how she got an attitude. Main thing, Body gets into Rain's head about get her body done, because Rain was like, she already was saving up money so she get her body done, and she was supposed to get like the BBL and get her boobs done. I think that's what the plan was, and she saved up like $1,500. And Body said, "Listen, because Rain was a little nervous, so Body was like, "Listen, I got you. It's gonna be good." You know, she did my body. You see, I'm out here. I'm making money. Once you get your body done, you'll be able to make money too. And so, Body was like, "Oh, come on, Rain, stop being scared and all this different stuff." And Kimmy was just like, it's like Kimmy was on this shoulder and Body was on this shoulder, and Kimmy like, you shouldn't do it. It's so unsafe. Da, 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 da. And Body like, girl, if you don't stop playing, you're trying to get this money. You're gonna get even more money when you get your body done. So Rain, she like, I don't know what I'm gonna do, but then she decides to do it. And Kimmy and Rain live together, so they Body devised the scheme because she was like, well, since Kimmy was already late getting to work anyway, we could find a way to keep her there later while you get your body done at the apartment, because the lady was going to come to her. And so they kept Kimmy at work. And Rain, well, actually, Kimmy didn't stay at work. Jules actually took her back to Roy, and that still didn't work out. Oh, it did work out well, because they ended up, this is when it gets all crazy. So at the same time, Mallory's wrapping it up with her situation, because there's a whole lot of stuff happening at one time. So you got Mallory at the beginning, she's at this big old convention giving away money and scholarships. You got Body with Rain, and Rain trying to get her BBL. You got Kimmy there, and she's at work and she's not very happy, and she's thinking about getting a scholarship and everything like that because she does not want to be a stripper anymore. And you got Jules, who's like, I gotta get back on Roy's good side, because Roy was upset with Kimmy and how she showed up and all this stuff. So it's all these things happen simultaneously. So Mallory wraps it up with her convention. She gives away $1 million to this lady. The lady hands her baby. The baby throws up on her. She's like, okay, pretty much with a smile on her face, like, take this little back. Then she gets, while she's exiting the convention, this lady walks up to her and hands her paper saying she's been served, because the products, that the relaxers that she's been selling through Beauty and Black, or the relaxer that has been sold by Beauty and Black, has been causing cancer in women who have been using the products. So she's mad about that. she takes it out on her lackeys. Oh my gosh, what's his name? All right, now I gotta go back, y'all. I'm sorry. Calvin and Calvin and the other girl, because the other girl was getting on my nerves too. Calvin and she not on here either. I'm sorry, y'all. She not even on here either. The girl that played like Cal is like supposed to be Mallory's assistant or something like that. And Calvin, who's her security. Yeah. What was her name? Because she was very annoying. She was super annoying. Like super annoying. Um, yeah, so Calvin and her and Mallory's assistant, I'm gonna have to just call her that for the time being. They're like, we messed, that was our fault. And then Mallory was like, Calvin, how are you my security? And this lady got through and this and the third. And she was really upset. So she said, you know what, y'all got to get out of the car. So she kicks him out the car. This sets it up where she's driving the car by herself in this storm. Now it's pouring and raining. She's driving. She's driving home. At the same time, I told you, Jules got Kimmy from the strip club by this time and took her back to Roy. Took her back to Roy, and now Roy is pleased with what she has on, and he really wants her to submit to him. And there's a reason for this because Roy, in his everyday life, his mom doesn't respect him, his wife doesn't respect him. He just for once wants a woman to look at him as some type of authority, as some type of I don't know, a guy who knows what the heck he's doing with his life, but he really doesn't know what the heck he's doing. He just wants someone to uh ride his coattails, to look at him with adoring eyes. And that's what he wants out of Kimmy. He wants her to be a submissive woman to him. So at first she's, it's hard for her, and because she don't really want to be there, and but they still make it to the bedroom. They make it to the bedroom. He gets up. He's like, you can't even make me erect, So he leaves. He goes to the bathroom. While he's in the bathroom, I don't even know how she even thought to do this, because this rubbed me the wrong way. I was like, how did you even know to do this? But she says into his phone, call my wife. When calls the wife, now the wife is on the phone. Who is the wife of Roy? Mallory. Mallory is heading home at the same time this is happening, driving the car in the rain. And, she's hearing him, come back in the room, and she's like, I'm waiting for you, daddy, come back in here. And he's like, you can't even make me erect and all this different stuff. And she was like, well, I'm sorry, but I could do it better now, and this and the third. And Mallory is hearing all of this. All right. Mallory does not know who the woman is, but she knows that that's her husband, Roy. So she's getting all amped up, agitated, mad. And what ends up happening is she's driving up the private road and she hits somebody hard. Like, like the impact. I jumped back from my screen, like, oh snap. She just hit somebody. She hit the person. Then she got out of the car for a little bit, went to go see who it was. could not see who it was, but she knew that the person was still alive. She gets back in the car because she can hear the person moaning or whatever. She gets back in the car and just goes home. She just goes home. She goes home and she's stewing because she just heard her husband on the phone with another woman. Then you have the whole thing with Roy. He's on his way home, comes up the same private road, hits the lady again. And I say lady because you find out later that it was Norman's wife that they hit, okay? Hits the lady again. But he gets out of the car, he goes and he picks up this person and puts the person in the back of the car and drives up the private road. Now, I told you, Kimmy is done with Roy. They done doing what they were doing. Now Kimmy is heading home. But let's rewind. Told you that Kimmy told Rain, stupid behind, do not trust Body. She said, don't trust Body because Body is going to steer you the wrong way. And I don't care if you want to get your butt done. This is not the way you should go about doing it. Rain, like, I'm gonna be fine. It's gonna be okay. You see how Body looks. I'm gonna be looking just like her. I'm gonna be bringing in money. Blah 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 blah. We'll be able to pay the rent. Matter of fact, we might be able to get into our own little spot, another spot. So Rain was like, listen, I mean, not Rain. Kimmy was like, I really don't trust. I don't trust her. Kimmy gets home. While she's gone, Body and Daga, played by T.S. Madison, along with some other guy, they show up to the apartment to do this BBL. Rain is so nervous. Body like, drink this, keep drinking. You know, it'll be fine. You see, she did my body. It's gonna be fine. Then after a while, she just started getting agitated with Rain. Like, you too scared. Like, you need to drink more. You need to forget that, because look at where y'all living at. Like, you need to get out of here. And she just plowing her with alcohol. Meanwhile, T.S. Madison comes in there and they bring in like a massage table, and Daga, T.S. Madison's character, she opens up this suitcase, and I'm looking at the stuff she pulling out the suitcase, and I'm like, you cannot be serious. She about to kill. I'm sorry, she about to unalive Rain, because the stuff she was pulling out, I'm like, that none of that look like is good to use for no BBL. And she's pulling out like cans of foam and all this different stuff. I'm like, what the heck? So all you see is like Rain, say, you know, drinking and everything like that. And then Daga says, get up on the table, you know, and Body keeps telling her, drink. And Rain gets on the table and she says, is it gonna hurt? And Daga says, no, because I'm gonna numb you up so good, you're not gonna feel a thing. And she pulls out this big giant needle. Oh my gosh. I was like, oh no. And you don't see the procedure, you don't see what happens, what went down. All you know is that when Kimmy gets back, Kimmy comes into the apartment. She's upset about, you know, she said, I had to go back and be with the bull. And she didn't know Roy's name. She didn't know who he was at the time. So she's just like, I had to go. Jules took me back to be with him. And she's like, she's noticing that as she's talking to Rain, Rain is not responding to her. So she's like, Rain, are you okay? And she goes and she's like shaking her and everything like that. And she's trying to figure out, like, is she okay? And then she lifts up the cover and sees the horrendous work that has been done on her friend's booty. And yeah, cutscene. Okay. Um, so I'm like, oh my gosh, because Rain was laying there like she was not alive. And I was like, oh my gosh. So how are they going to spin this? They're going to make it so that now Kimmy is avenging Rain's death. But no, that's not the situation. That was the end of episode 1. All right. Episode 2. We have and I'm like, excuse me if they're not, because there's 16 episodes. Pretty much Mallory and Roy, now they're trying to cover up this hit and run. All right. Kimmy is upset about Rain, and against everything that Jules and Noah probably had told her to do, she decides to take Rain to the hospital because she don't want her friend to die. Okay. So she takes her to the hospital. And let's just say that this is the lower level hospital. Jules pulls up in front of there when she's leaving, and he's like, what are you doing here? You can't ever come to this hospital again to see Rain. Don't ever do it again, because now your face is all over the camera. And pretty much he's running the whole situation. So Rain getting her booty done and all that different stuff. But it was funny to me because it was like Body didn't even get in trouble for putting Rain in that predicament. But then again, it was like Rain's decision anyway to get her booty done. So yeah, like it was already her idea. Oh snap. What's up, BDBGP? How are you? Good to see you on here. Who else is in here? Oh, what's up, Reg? All right, y'all, because I'm just now looking at the comments. My bad. I'm sorry, y'all. But this show is crazy. Show is super crazy. All right. Now, Body, like I said, she didn't, like, Jules never confronted her about, the whole thing with Rain. He had other fish to fry anyway. But Kimmy, now she done put them on the radar because she done took Rain to the hospital. So Jules mad, he big mad that she done took him to the hospital. Took her to the hospital. And you kind of figure out like why Kimmy is where she is, because they flash back to when she was living with her mom and her mom's boyfriend. And she has a little sister. And just to give you a little spiel about that, because it's broken up, but when you piece it all together, her mom was dating this douchebag, and the douchebag started touching on Kimmy. Rather than the mom protect her daughter, she pulled an old she pretty much was like, you too old to be around my man. Pretty much, you're the competition and you need to leave. All right. So now Kimmy is 17 and the mom is like, you need to figure out things on your own, takes her to a Walmart. I knew it was a Walmart because later on you see how she meets Rain and everything like that. So they was definitely at a Walmart. And she's like, Mom, like, what are you saying? Like, I gotta leave. And the mom was just like, you need to go. Like, I can't do, you're too old to be around him. You're 17 now, you need to make your own way, blah, 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 blah. So in a nutshell, she pretty much chose a man over her daughter and left her daughter at a Walmart. So the girl, Kimmy, is in the Walmart. She's crying in the bathroom. This is when Rain walks in. She says, they're going to be closing soon, so you might as well just come out of there. And that's how they met. All right. Now they hide out in Walmart until it closes. Once it closes, they come out. Rain is like, you have to walk down certain aisles because they are what is it? They have sensor cameras in certain aisles. So she takes her over to the electronic section. Mind you, they're not stealing anything. All Rain did was she did face call this boy named Angel. And that's when everything goes to crap. She contacts this boy Angel, and Angel's like, you can make some money. We're going to be transporting some stuff, and you can make $5,000 from it. Rain says, all right, bet. Kimmy is like, he's like, who's your friend? She's like, this is my friend Kimmy. And he's like, is she coming too? And he was like, because she could make 5,000 too. It'd be 10,000 for the both of y'all, 5,000 each. And Kimmy like, yeah, I'll do it, but she's real like apprehensive, but not really. Like, I don't know what it is about her character. It's like she said, yeah, I'm gonna do it, but it was apprehension. But she also, I guess, she wanted to seem cool in front of Rain. Like, I'm down, I could do it. So yeah, they ended up getting on this plane with contraband, and they got caught. Who did they get caught by? Jules. Because Jules is a whole FBI person. He works in the FBI. Oh, yeah. It gets crazy. He works in the FBI. He works in the FBI, and he works as like he's legit like in the FBI, but he's doing all these shady things on the side. So they get caught, and they the way the scam was hooked up, Jules is in business with Norman. Norman, remember, Norman Bellery is the one whose wife was ran over. All right. Now, and this is late, well, she was ran over in this timeline, but Jules and Norman have been working together in this whole trafficking thing for a long time. Okay. They got in touch with a judge. All right. The judge is friends with Norman, and what he would do is when they would bring these people in that they would catch, they get tipped off about these people that actually they're actually doing crimes. Okay. And what they would do is they would get them lighter sentences, or they wouldn't serve a day in jail. They would just have to pay a fine or something like that. Now, the judge was a crooked judge that they got on board, and he tried to say later on, like, all I was supposed to do was just provide lighter sentences and this, that, and third, and not throw the book at them. But what happens is Jules was letting these people know, you're indebted to me because I know that judge, and I'm pulling these strings so you won't have to do jail time. You just come work at my club, or you do things for me, make and you're in debt this much, and as you work, you're going to work yourself out of debt. So that was the whole plan. That was how it was set up. So other than people who actually wanted to dance at the club, there were people being trafficked in the club too. So you got people that were willingly showing up to work and wanting to shake their butt for some money, and then you got people that were actually forced into doing it. It was forced labor. Now, Angel, who got caught with them, was also one of the dancers. He's one of the male dancers, because this strip club is a male and female strip club. So it's both males and females dancing at the same time. All right. What did they say it was? A co-ed strip club. That's what it was. So the men had their own locker room, and the women had their own locker room. Now, Angel was one of the dancers as well. Kimmy, she, like I said, this is when they got caught. They kind of Rain and Kimmy, they both put it on Angel, like, this is really your fault, because had you not enlisted us to do this illegal thing, we would have never got caught and ended up in this hellhole. But accountability, accountability, people, accountability, because y'all, Rain and Kimmy, both said that they were going to do it. Angel didn't have to twist their arms or nothing to do it. They wanted to do it. Let me just double check and make sure his name is Angel, because I keep saying Angel, but I'm not sure if that's, yeah, Angel. That's right. So he didn't twist their arms, make them do it. They did it of their own free will, but they're blaming him because they got caught. But I'm sure if I mean, they probably would have gave him his props if they got away with it too. But like, it's so easy to blame somebody when you get caught. When you get caught, you're like, damn, we got caught. Like, it's your fault. Like, so Jules got Angel, Kimmy, and Rain working for him. Rain is out of commission now because Rain is in the hospital. All right, remember, her booty all messed up. Kimmy took her to the hospital. Kimmy is now in trouble with Body, because Body, like, why did you take it to the hospital? You done messed up everything. And and Kimmy's like, oh, I didn't want her to die. Like, I didn't want my friend to die, so I took her to the hospital. Now Body is mad at her. Delinda is just kind of like, she's just there for comic relief, honestly. But her and Body get it in the worst way in the show, in the worst way on the show, because Kimmy just snaps. All right, now, let me see where I'm gonna go now. As far as the cover up of the hit and run, Mallory and Roy, they like the two stooges. They're, Roy shows up with his body in the back of his trunk. Mallory is hitting him like, who was the girl that I was listening to you on the phone with, blah, 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 blah. He like, I don't know what you talk about. Look at what I got. I got a surprise for you. Brings her out to the garage, shows her the body in the car. Now they got to figure out a way to get rid of the body. They're driving. Roy is drunk. They get pulled over by a white cop. White cop, like, license and registration. Roy is drunk and he not really like he complying, but he really not complying. And Mallory is kind of like talking for him, which was annoying because all she had to do was play the passenger princess, because she ended up saying, oh, because the police officer was like, I smell alcohol, and she wanted to be like, oh, that's me. I had a little bit too much to drink, this, that, and the third. So now she done screwed herself, because in saying that, when he asked Roy to come out of the car and do the breathalyzer test, he's over the limit. He's drunk. So now, who gonna drive the car home? Well, Molly can't drive the car home. Why? Because she just told this cop that she was the one drinking. So, even though she was sober. So now neither one of them can drive the car. Now, mind you, the body's in the back of the car. So uh Mallory calls Jules to help clean up this little mess. So the car gets towed, all right, with the body in the back. It gets towed, and Jules comes and picks her up, and they go to the tow yard. And when they go to the tow yard, they're sitting there, and then another car pulls up, and it's these other two guys that work for Jules, and they whisk Mallory away in their car, in the other car. And while someone is driving Mallory home, Jules tells these other two guys, hey, we have a situation, a package in the back of this car with this license, and I need you to get it. So soon as they're about to walk into the tow yard, it's a guy in a booth. They just take him out, poop right in his head, go get the car, and then when they get the car, surprise, surprise, there's nobody in it. Because when Mallory went to go, when she was talking to the police officer, and the police officer turned his back to her, not purposely, like they was done their conversation, Mallory turned around, she saw, oh my gosh, the trunk is opening, and the person was actually alive still and was trying to open now this person got hit by the car and then ran over, and she was like, I'm not going out without a fight. So she was trying to open the trunk, and Molly was like, oh my gosh, and she ran and shut it real quick. And this is before it got towed. So by the time when it got towed to the tow yard, and by the time they got there to get the car, she had already made her way outside of the car. Now, when they found the body of the guy that they took out, they also found her, who managed to get out of the car, crawl, or whatever. I don't know how she made it away from the car, but she made it away from it. And so she ended up in the hospital. And that's how Richard Lawson's character, Norman, found out his wife was ran over. Because they said this is how she could sustain injuries. It had to be a hit and run. But she was found in a tow yard. We don't know why she was found in a tow yard, but whatever. Jules is supposed to be working for everybody and trying to protect everybody. But in trying to protect everybody, he's lying to Norman about, he has the whole situation happening with Norman. Horace doesn't know about it. This is the big part of the puzzle, because Horace doesn't know about it. Norman and Jules are hiding this from Horace. Olivia, the matriarch, knows about it. She don't have no parts in it, but she knows about it, because apparently Olivia and Norman at one time were having an affair. And so Olivia, don't let the sweet face fool you. Don't let the dimples fool you. She got some stuff with her too. She and Norman had something at one point in time. And so she knew about their operation, but she didn't blow up his spot, because she was still very much part of the family, and still, like, if he went down, they was all going to go down. regardless if they knew about it or not, because the family name is very important. All right. At the same time, Jules is trying to protect Boy and Mallory, knowing that they're the ones involved with the hit and run. He actually knows that Mallory is the one that hit her initially. Um, so he's like protecting Mallory. He's not telling Norman that it was Roy and Mallory. He's instead letting Norman just stew in his thoughts. Now, Norman is not wrapped too tight. He don't care about none of them. He said his wife is the only person that ever cared about him, the only person he ever loved. And, because she's in pain and because this has happened to her, he wants revenge for her. Now, she's first she's not doing well, then she's doing well. So he's like, she might pull through. You feel me? And then the doctor was like, she should be well enough to even, if she has any recollection of what happened to her, she'll be able to tell us what happened. So Norman, not knowing that Jules is the enemy, he divulges this information to him, who now goes and tells Mallory, and Mallory like, well, you got to fix this, like, so he's like, it's already done. So while Norman is sitting in the hospital room with his wife, this black lady nurse comes in there, and she's talking a lot. Like, she's talking a lot. And they're in like they're in a hospital that is like this is the upper crust hospital, right? This is the one that the Bellarys actually donated enough money to build another wing to this hospital. So they're in a very upper crust type of hospital. So this nurse comes in, she's like talking a lot, and she's like, I'm just gonna give her this and should, help her sleep a little bit better, should ease the pain, blah, 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 blah. Just making him feel at ease. She was like, are you comfortable? I can get you a bed in here, this and third. He's like, no, I'm fine, blah, 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 blah. Well, later on, he says, you know what? He goes up to these nurses that's sitting at the desk, and he's like, hey, you know what? I will take that bed. And they was like, a bed? And he was like, yeah, it was a nurse that came in there and said that she would give me a bed if I needed a bed. And they're like, we're the only charge nurses that are on duty. Like, who are you talking about? And so I was like, oh snap. So now the wife's condition is declining, is not improving anymore, is declining. So he's like, oh my gosh. She's like, now I gotta get her out of this hospital because I don't trust anybody in this hospital. I gotta get my wife out of this hospital because my wife is going to die. First, she was improving, she was doing well, because then next thing you know, after whatever was given to her, the doctor comes in and says, I'm sorry, we're going to have to start making her comfortable because she's now declining. Her health is declining, and she's starting to essentially pass away. And he's like, but you just said the other day that she was doing well. And she was like, well, I don't know what happened between then and now, but we're looking at everything and she's not doing well. So he's like, yeah, I got to get her out of this hospital. Now, let me see if I can go to Rain. Rain is in the lower crust hospital, and I told you that Jules told Kimmy not to go and see her, but she went to go see her. And this was a part that really made me mad because, first of all, Kimmy walks in and she asks the nurses about Rain. And they just like, oh, yeah, she's in the last thing, but in the last cubby. But they was laughing because, like, okay, it is funny that you try to get a back door BBL. Okay, you were really stupid for that. But I thought that was mad unprofessional that these nurses was laughing about it. Like, y'all are nurses, like y'all not supposed to be laughing. At least not laughing the girl that's visiting her face, like laugh on your own time. It was really weird. But anyway, she talks to Rain for a little bit, and Rain is like, they're saying there's blood clots and all this different stuff, and then she's like, I might pass away, and can we like don't talk like that? But then there was this one part, and this when I said dialogue, because the dialogue was starting to get on my nerves because Rain was saying, "Don't leave me, don't leave me." Can we like, I gotta go, I gotta get back to the club, this, that, third, you're gonna be fine. I'm just glad that you're here, this and that. But then, over and over again, Rain was saying, "Don't leave me, don't leave me, don't leave me." Then like 3 minutes later, she was like, "You need to go." What? What? I'm confused. You was just sitting here saying not to leave, and now you're telling her to go. So make up your mind. And now Kimmy are like, "What you mean leave? I'm not gonna leave you." I'm like, you just said you was gonna leave her, and now you're saying that you're going to stay. Like, y'all need to make up your minds, okay? What is going on with this dialogue? All right. Then Kimmy leaves. Kimmy leaves and she goes on about her business. She goes back to the strip club. I think this was at the time she went back to the strip club. And it was just like a whole lot of things where, oh no, she went back to the strip club and they said, "Listen, you need to you have somebody in the room, a VIP, you need to go get that money." So she goes to the VIP joint. She see it's this older guy in there. An older guy, like it's like uh so Kimmy like, "You wanted to dance?" And the guy's like, "Yeah." She's like, "Well, it's 50, and you just sit in this chair, I will dance for you. And you what else she said? You can't touch me or nothing like that." So he's like, "All right." So he was like, "But I don't want to sit in that chair." So she's like, "Okay." She's like, "So you want to just sit there?" He's like, "Yeah." So as she's danced with him, she noticed that he's not looking at her. He's looking at this guy. He's in fact looking at Angel. So she's like, "Oh, is that your preference? Because I can get him to come in here, no problem, because you're obviously not watching me dance." And he's like, "What are you insinuating?" And he got real offended, and then he just like tossed his money to her and was like, "Whatever." So then he leaves, and then they're like, "What did you do? Made him mad, all this different stuff." Body and Dylan are upset. Now, there was a lot that happened in this show. But I'm gonna kind of leave it there because I know I said spoilers, and there are a lot of spoilers. Well, the old man that was in the room with Kimmy turned out to be Horace. Horace is actually, well, it's not clear if he's in the LGBTQ community. He prefers to watch them dance. And he said it was a very different time that he grew up in, so he wasn't able to explore, all right, other situations. So yeah, so he never got a chance to explore it, but he said, "Let me just go to this club and see if I can see some things." And Kimmy peeped that he was into that and into men and not into women. What ended up happening was he came back to the club. You know, and they said you got a VIP that wants to see you again. She goes in there. He's there. He's like, hey, you know, I'm not even sure if he apologized about the last time, but he was just like, he just explained like it was a different time and everything like that. He's like, but you said you could get him for me. And so she's like, yeah. And so he said, well, how much would it cost? And she said, um, I think she said 800. And then he was like, all right, well, no, I think she said like 1,500 or something like that. She said some amount, but he said, I'm on a fixed income and I only have this. And I think that was 800. And then she said, well, I could try to get him to do it for 5. So she takes the 300 away and she hands him the 300. And he was like, wait, you know, why did you do that? And she was like, what, you never met an honest hoe before? He was like, no, he hasn't. So she goes and talks to Angel, like, yo, this older guy, he's really feeling you. He wants you to dance with. And he was like, well, as long as it's just, you know, she was like, no, but you know, I'm straight. And she's like, yeah, but he really likes you. He just wants to dance. He was like, well, as long as I'm still dancing, I'm only dancing because he didn't want it to get crazy. If y'all feel what I'm talking about. So he said that's gonna be at least he tried to put a price. He was like, yeah, that's gonna have to be at least $800 or whatever. And she was like, well, he only got 5. But you know what? At first she gave him back the 300, but I think he just gave her the 300, was like, just keep this for yourself or whatever. And she kept the 300. She told Angel that it was 500, and he said okay. And the but Horace didn't want to do it at the club. He said, is there a place we can go? So she's like, I don't know, is there maybe a hotel or something like that? He was like, well, let's do that your place. And she's like, I don't like, why my place? Like, I don't even know you. Like, he is like, listen, you know, I'm not trying to do nothing. Plus, he's like, I can't go to a hotel, you know. So, he's like, because he kept saying, because he didn't have enough money for a hotel. That was his excuse. But to be perfectly honest, if we being real, he couldn't go to no hotels because of who he was. And somebody at the hotel would have saw who he was and would have quickly sniffed him out and said, yo, he just went into the room with this guy. So that would have been a whole big scandal. So he was like, let's just go to your house. So they go to her house, and the Angel went in there. He followed behind him in his car. And then he was in there for like 5 minutes, and he came back out and he said, oh, yeah, he just told me to go. He gave me the money, but he just told me to go. So Kimmy went back in there and she was just like, is everything okay? Like, he said, um, he told her that, one, Angel stole his watch, and two, and that she needed to get it back from him. So Kimmy like, oh my gosh, like this dude is a freaking nut. Talk about Angel. And then he also lays it on her that he's very sick and he has prostate cancer. So that was that. No, I don't think did he tell her that. I think he did tell her that he had prostate cancer or whatever. So, but he wanted to keep it under wraps. So he said, "Can you drive me back to my home?" And she's like, "Drive me back to your home." And he was like, "Yeah, I'll make sure you have a ride back." So they he gives her the address. She's driving him, and she's like, "This just seems so far out. This is a far away. Like we going a ways." And to get to the house, and she sits him on the couch, and he's just like real like trusting of her. He's like, "Can you go get this for me? You go up here, you get this for me, this and third." The staff that night just happened to be off. So it was just them two in the house. And she goes and she's getting the stuff. And as she's walking around, she's seeing pictures. And she sees a picture of him and Jules and the guy that she had the encounter with at the very beginning of the show. So she like, who the heck is this guy? And so she now she's scared because she's like, this dude is playing me, because this is the guy that is the head of everything. He's the head of the strip club and everything, all the shady dealings that's going on with Jules, everything. So I need to get out of this house. So he tells her, can you can go and take the truck. It's actually belongs to the gardener or something like that, but just take the truck so you can get home. So she's like, okay. So she takes the truck home, and she's just like, good night. She's like, she takes the truck, she goes home, and she's just like, Dad, like this dude been playing me this whole time. He's like the head honcho. He's the reason why I'm in the predicament that I'm in. All right. Now there was a situation. I forgot why Body did this. I don't know if it's because she kept being told that Kimmy is talking back, like Kimmy talking back to me, and this, that, and third. She's getting real slick with the mouth, and Kimmy like, I'm really not. I think it was because Jules was just like, you know, why is it that she's able to get under your skin and do all these things and not follow your rules? Is it because you don't have the fortitude to run these bees like I need you to? And she's like, no, I could do it. Like I could really do it. And man, oh man, Jules was like, Body was throwing herself at Jules, like pretty much like, I'll do whatever you say, Daddy. And he's like, she was about to try to perform fellatio on him, and he's like, no, like he's like, I could look in your mouth and I can see everybody that been up in your mouth, like I don't want that on me, and pretty much told her like, that's not gonna get you're not gonna get over on me by offering me that. That's what he was saying with that. So now Body is mad because she's like, think, you know, Kimmy is thinking she can run stuff, and she ain't running nothing over here. And then her and Delinda talking, and Delinda, I told you, they like Bulk and Skull, like Bebop and Rocksteady, like Horace and Jasper, pretty much, you know. So Delinda, like, you can't let that little young bee think she running things. And Body like, you absolutely right. So they, not Delinda, but Daga, the one that, so first Daga and Body showed up to the house with the other guy in order to clean up the crime scene. That was the first time they came back. So you saw Daga 3 times. You saw her the first time when she came to do Body's body. I mean, not Body's body, Brain's body. Then you saw her come back with Body and the guy and tossed Kimmy some pills and was like, give these to her, she should be fine, blah, 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 blah. This, then third. Talk about she should give that to Rain or whatever. And then the last time she showed up that you seen her was when she showed up with Body to Body Kimmy. Like they both beat up Kimmy. And then Kimmy, this is when Kimmy went back to the hospital because now her ribs hurting. She got bruises all up and down her leg from when they was kicking her and beating her up. And so she went back to the hospital, but she didn't just go to the hospital for herself. She went there so she could also see Rain. And she gets to the hospital and is told by a lady who was in the bed next to her that Rain had passed away. Cutscene. So there's a lot that happens in the show. I think I went through probably the first 3 episodes, but I will say this, there is a lot. There is a lot. And I want y'all to let me know if I should do it episode by episode after this, because I said that was like the first 3 episodes. If y'all want me to go from 4 to 16 and kind of break it down episode by episode and delve into it, I could do it that way. Or if you want me to just leave it at here, and because I'm gonna give my honest critique as far as the writing needs to be better. So going into the second season, they need stronger dialogue. And if not dialogue, they need to be doing something action wise to really bring out the scene, because I'm getting this from everybody. Tyler Perry is an amazing writer. He is awesome at being a screenwriter, well, a playwright. And I think a lot of times going from a playwright to a movie, that's 2 different arenas, and it's hard to turn that off when you're in a different form. So what might work for a stage play may not work for a big picture film. Why Did I Get Married? I saw as the movie. I don't think I really saw the whole play. That was a great movie to be a movie. Just like I Could Do Bad All By Myself was great as a movie. Diary of a Mad Black Woman, that's the only one I can say was good as both the as the movie and the play. Madea Goes to Jail, movie and play was good. Family Reunion. Did I say Family Reunion? No, I didn't say Family Reunion yet. Both movie and play was good. But again, he has to, for this to really hit like it needs to hit, going into the second season, the dialogue has to be so much stronger. All right. What else do I have in here? I already said the plot is really, really good. And every episode doesn't have to be 45 minutes to an hour. Uh I mean, if it is, and I said if it is, the dialogue has to be better. But if he can get it down to like 35 minutes, that's all we really need. Because the way he's writing it, it doesn't need to be long and drawn out. It doesn't need to, and honestly, towards the end of the season, it kind of picked up. It kind of picked up, but again, it's some things in the dialogue that a lot of the lines are repeated, and that could get annoying. Again, the whole what are you saying after someone just explain, like, the sky is blue. What are you saying? Like, I'm saying that the sky is blue, but I'm not getting what you mean. Like, stuff like that. That irritates me, okay? um I said Olivia is diabolical. Her character got some stuff with her. So I'm trying to told y'all, she is not one to be crossed, okay? She is not one to be crossed. I think it's one of Debbie Morgan's better roles. All right. Tyler, I know you want to have nudity in certain sexual situations in here, but I I'm not against the LGBTQ community at all. What they do is what they do. I have no problems with that. I just don't understand why that has to be a long, drawn out scene in a lot of in you and Lee Daniels show. Like, y'all, come on. Come on, man. Come on. Like I said, the first time we meet Charles, he pretty much getting it in. And his house is all windows, pretty much. Like, you can look, you can see into his house. And so his bedroom, but the thing is also is on a private road. It's not like out and about. But his mom shows up to ask him about the hit and run, and he up there smashing some dude in his room. And at first I was looking like, is that two men? And then I was like, who are they? And it then I was like, oh, they got two sons. Roy is one, and then Charles is the other. So yeah, so Charles not only is he's just a he is a man eater. He is a he is the definition of an F boy. All right, he is going to have his fun by any means necessary. That's just how he rolls. Okay. Uh, let me see. I said it's weird to see Charles Malik Whitfield, the actor, and Debbie Morgan as bad guys, but I like it. I think they play their roles very well. I said Charles, the character, is so unserious, and Roy needs to leave the extracurriculars alone. Really quickly, I have a little bit of time. A little deep dive into Roy's character, all right? Roy and Charles are definitely the examples of the prodigal son and the son that don't nobody want. I don't know what the whole deal is with Roy, Horace, and Olivia. Horace and Olivia, they treat Roy so badly. And they also refer to Horace and Norman's their father, and the will that he laid out. And there's a lot of stipulations so that everybody can inherit the money. Now, it's true that Horace and Norman have acquired some wealth of their own, as well as Olivia, as well as Mallory, because they have the company Beauty and Black. Beauty and Black, I think it was started with Horace and Norman's money. Norman was the chemist, and Horace was the one who went to business school and ran the business side of Beauty and Black. However, like I said, Beauty and Black, their relaxing product uh, was causing cancer in women. And so now Beauty and Black, the company, is facing scrutiny and also facing a big behind lawsuit, meaning that they could possibly go bankrupt. Now, there is still money left from the grandfather's will. And also, the grandfather has a trust in place for Charles and Roy. Uh, they have to in order for them to get the money and everything, there's, like I said, there's certain stipulations. There can't be any substance abuse. There can't be any, which there is. There can't be any felonies or anything that anyone has, which there's a lot going on. So that pretty much puts their money in jeopardy. Everything that Jules and Norman have built illegally can come crashing down in any moment. And um they could take down the family name too with everything that they're doing. uh Let me see. It's just a lot, as far as like when I'm explaining the plot, there's a lot that happens in the plot. There's a lot going on. But again, the episodes have to be better crafted dialogue wise. Towards the end, like I said, of the season, it starts picking up because there's a lot of stuff that starts happening. But the first 3 episodes, you do be like, oh my gosh, like, why is this happening? Why are people repeating themselves? Why are they acting this way? Why is it so slow? I don't know if like the 4th, 5th episode, people started getting their land legs, and then everything started rolling a lot better. But them first 3 episodes was really, really brutal. It was what kept me intrigued was the hit and run, the the mystery of knowing who the person was. It was certain things that kept me pulled in, but honestly, the dialogue, the acting did not do it for me for a lot of people. Uh even some stuff you could tell that Jules, the actor who plays Jules, and like him calling women bees and all this different stuff, it felt forced. It felt unnatural. It felt like, man, oh man, like, why I gotta say this? Like, you know, and I can understand because he's used to being the good guy. He used to being the one that's advocating for everybody. He the one that is always looking out for everyone. And in this joint, he's a very sneaky, sneaky person. And he has a lot of stuff with him. So I would say go and see the series. If this is somewhere up your alley, there's a lot of stuff I didn't even touch on. I pretty much skimmed the surface. You will have to watch to delve in a little bit deeper with all the other stuff that happens, because everything is connected and everything, there's a reason for everything. However, I do believe that there is some things where the continuity is kind of mm, and of course there's going to be a second season because there's a lot of things that happen toward the end that you're like, okay, yeah, there's going to be a second season. Let's just hope that it's written well. And I you know what, Tyler, I have to say this, my brother. You sure know how to keep people hooked. You sure know how to come up with a story that is, you know, just quality. Like the plot is great and the twist. Sometimes you allude a little too hard to what the twist could be, which takes out the mystery for me, because I'm like, dang, like I kind of knew this was gonna happen, and I knew that was gonna happen. I don't want to feel like that. I want to feel always um like take me back to the days of If Loving You Is Wrong and Having and Have Nots, how you wrote those so well. Cause baby, If Loving You Was Wrong, that was my show. Okay. Matter of fact, I watched Having and Have Nots, but to be perfectly honest, I loved If Loving You Was Wrong way more because it was a lot more the the chemistry between Randall and I don't know why I was going to say Melanie, but that's not it. The chemistry between Randall and the one who was his wife, like that whole story was just crazy, okay? That whole story was crazy. Um yeah, and I wasn't in my review bag when that came out. Matter of fact, I didn't even have any type of social media presence at all when that came out. I mean, as far as like content creating and everything like that. But that is something that I would want to revisit. Because If Loving You Was Wrong was a really good show, and so was Having to Have Not. So let's get back to that type of quality writing. And, I hope to see some more familiar faces as far as the cast goes with Beauty and Black. And what's with the In the Black and In Black? What is it just the drive home that is definitely gonna be black people in these shows, in these movies? Like you don't want anybody to have any confusion. Like it's divorce in the black. It's beauty in black. So if you're looking for if you look for black people, you come to the right place. I don't know what that's about. But I will say this, it is a good show. It is worth watching. I binged watched it in like, I want to say a day and some change. Really good show. Just wish that the dialogue was a little bit better. And y'all probably like, why you keep saying that? Because y'all will understand my frustration when y'all watch it. Not saying don't watch it. Definitely watch it. But I'm telling you, that dialogue is killing me sometimes. Um, Especially when her sister came into play. But y'all will find all that out once y'all watch it. I'm going to wrap up this live. I've been on here a little too long. Even though I kind of knew I would be on here for a significant amount of time because I knew that I wanted to share a lot of the show. I just didn't want to miss anything. Uh, and there there's so much that happens that it's gonna take more than just one live to cover it. Like I would think I need to do it episode by episode, starting at probably like episode 4 or 5. Because I honestly can't remember how much I told you of the story, like where it ends off at. Uh, I know that when she found out that Rain passed away, that was the end of an episode. And I was like, what? I was so mad. But this is also after she asked the older guy, Horace, who she didn't know who he was until she got to the house and everything like that. But she did ask him, like, um, she said, I need you to do one thing for, excuse me, I need you to do one thing for me. I want to know if you could pretend to be Rain's grandfather or something like that, because I'm not allowed to go and see her at the hospital. So would you be able to just pretend to be her grandfather and go and visit her and check up on her? And he said he would do that. So that was their deal. You know, she would come up with Angel and he would go and check in on Rain. And even that got crazy. So, guys, that's my time. I appreciate y'all for tuning in tonight. I will see y'all tomorrow, Monday night. Will not see y'all. I won't be on the screen. But Monday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we have Think Different TV. And then on Tuesday, we have Think Different TV's Player Pass at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then on Wednesday night, we have Kink Different TV at 11 p.m. on Patreon only, patreon.com, TDTV, KDTV. Check out the replay of In My Opinion. We had a 2-play today, Shaden Sharp and Kanye West. It's on my YouTube channel under under In My Opinions playlist. So definitely go check that out. And I will see you guys tomorrow. All right. Hope y'all enjoy the rest of y'all night. And I'm out of here. All right. Let me take this banner up. And I'm out of here. Bye.
But the secret is you got to coordinate. Most people don't coordinate. So you got to coordinate.
Uh-oh. Which one of these competitors will be victorious on this episode of Think Different TV's Player Pass? Find out by tuning in Tuesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Think Different TV YouTube channel. Say hello to America's new favorite game show, Think Different TV's Play or Pass. Get ready to experience trivia like never before. It's not just about what you know, it's about how you play the game. Join our charismatic host Bubbles every Tuesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the most exhilarating trivia battles on television. As we wrap up our incredible first season, we're gearing up for an even more exciting season 2 in 2025. We're looking for sharp minds and strategic thinkers to join us for one-on-one duels, thrilling team battles, and high-energy tournaments for high school and college students. Think you've got what it takes to outsmart the competition? Prove it! Become a contestant by calling 267-225-1824 or emailing lashiastar2@gmail.com. Think Different TV, live every Monday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hosted by me, your girl Lashia. Join me as I discuss social topics, spotlight independent artists, and share financial tips. Join the conversation. I want to hear what you have to say. Think Different TV, where minds meet.
You're the reason I